So here we have this interesting can that I picked up today from it wasn't actually a Coles or a Woolworths, standard supermarket. It was the one that we have in the mall, and it's called Super Grocer. Now, I haven't seen this brand of soda before, but as you can see, it does contain less than 1% grape juice concentrate, which means it's at least a little, probably about 0.5% real juice. We can see it's very not healthy for us, but as we can see, you can tell the reason why I picked it up, surely. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before, and does have two languages on it, so that is how we can tell that it's probably an import and not necessarily intentioned to be sold in this country. Now, that does raise some questions about the safety information about what is contained in the can itself, but fortunately, the manufacturers do make that clear what it is. So if there are any health defects that we do receive from consuming this soda, from consuming this libation, surely a medical doctor will be able to figure out what is wrong with us by reading what is on the rest of this can, hopefully. People smarter than me are the people to ask about all of these ingredients. I'm not even entirely sure what some of these things are. We've got purified water, so that is a good sign. When it comes to something that I'm about to drink, I want to make sure that I'm not drinking something that isn't at least a little bit natural. So I'm happy to see that we do have at least a little bit of some water. High fructose corn syrup. It's usually a pretty typical ingredient in sort of unhealthy sodas, I suppose. As for some of these other things, we've got carbon dioxide. I don't exactly know what the 290 is, but hopefully, as I mentioned before, we can go to a doctor and they can tell us more about these ingredients and what sort of effect they'll have on our body when we drink this. It may contain milk, so if you are lactose intolerant or a vegan or vegetarian in any shape or form, this is probably not the best product for you to choose. I would probably look to see if they make a version that does contain oat milk, because as for alternative milks, I do think oat milk is probably the best. I've tried several before. Almond milk is all right. Oat milk is probably my favorite though. Though for those who are lactose intolerant, probably not the best soda to drink. As we can see here, it is manufactured by someone there. I suppose that could be Korean. Maybe that's what this says. Probably not. That probably says sparkling water, but that does look like a South Korean name. So I assume we can assume that this is a South Korea. So made in Republic of Korea. It's not the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So we are happy that we are not assisting the economy of very repressive regime when we purchase this this soda. Now, before we get into what the drink tastes like, let's see a bit more about the experience of this soda. It is cold. There's a little bit of condensation you can see forming because it's been out of the fridge for a while now, and you can see my, fingerprint reflections on the logo itself. It's a good size can. This is the size of a regular can of drink that you'd find in Australia. As you can see, it is a little bit smaller. Let's lay them down. So, yeah, it's just a little bit smaller, but it's not quite as small as like a can of Iron Brew or something. Though hopefully it's just as unhealthy for us, because now I don't recommend usually drinking things that are that unhealthy for you, but in this circumstance I feel like I'm fine enough to at least attempt some of this drink. Now it is got a copyright information on it, so that's how we know that it is an officially licensed product. So this is not bootleg Chupa grape soda. Inspecting more of the can, we can see the date on which this was made, or at least the can was made. Looks to be a pretty similar standard can. Wonder if we can tell what factory this came from. There's a little indent in the bottom of the can. That looks like it's a 3. I don't know if you can tell. It's a little bit of an indent. That is how the manufacturer of the cans can tell which machine pressed this can. So if there are any defects with them, we know exactly which machine is the problem. Usually aluminium cans are made, hundreds and thousands of them are pumping out of a factory every day. But it doesn't look like this one has any manufacturing issues, though I am concerned about what these dots are. I've never seen this before. Perhaps that's something usually more commonly found within the South Korean market, maybe even the North Korean too, because they probably do import a lot of cans for whatever they eat in North Korea. Not sure what that means, but it is a good can. It's not light. The density of the liquid inside is what you'd expect from a sealed can of soda. Now, onto the good part that we've all been waiting for, the sound of the can. Now, this is an important consideration to have when we are buying or ingesting a canned beverage such as this one. Let's just get up nice and close so that we can see this, or hear it, if you will. Good seal of the CO2 in there. That's how we know that the product has not been contaminated beforehand. It's just been sealed at the factory. The smell, I am getting some sort of Zappo-like smell from this can. Yeah, it does smell sort of sour grapey, but I suppose that's what we'd expect from candy grape soda. Let's see how it tastes. Let's finish the rest of the opening of the can. We can see a little bit of liquid itself has been ejected from the can as we opened it and unsealed the pressure. Now, yes, that is a very solidly built can. I'm happy to see that Chupa Chups soda has not skimped out on the quality of the can. Let's see what color the drink itself is. I'm expecting it to be some kind of bluish purple. But let's take a sip of it first. Yep, so it does taste exactly sort of what I'm used to drinking when it comes to grape sodas. I have had Fanta grape before. Now that is a very typical Fanta flavor that we can find. This does not taste too different from a sort of generic soda. The color of the liquid itself, I don't know if you can tell on this can here. There's not much of it to see, but it is a very light shade of what I would consider to be lilac. I don't have a receptacle to pour it into, so you'll have to believe me on this one, but yeah, so the refrigerator, you can see the color that's the bottom of the can there. It looks red, but that's just because it's the light reflecting through a light purple liquid. So overall, I think I am rather impressed with the taste of this. It does taste like what you'd expect from a regular can of grape soda. And if you can find it for cheaper, it's a good recommendation. Plus you get a nice, probably not too common drink. You get Chupa Chups soda. I don't think it tastes much at all like the purple Chupa Chups themselves. I was always more of a fan of either the cola flavor or the strawberries and cream flavor. Perhaps tomorrow, when I finish up from my shift, I'll pick up the strawberry color, and I'll see how that compares with the experience that I've had from this delicacy. But overall, I think I would rate this probably a good 7.5, 8 out of 10. If you find it in a shop, I do recommend you give it a try. And it's 345 milliliter, as opposed to the more unhealthy standard size of 375 milliliter from a can of Pepsi Max. While that is a regularly common brand of drink to have, and it's one that I do enjoy. It's sometimes nice to break from the mundane and have a bit of a treat, and that is what I consider this to be. So if you were concerned for my health and safety after drinking this, I don't feel any different to whether or not I would have. I don't know. You could ask me what I just drank, and I'd say grape soda. I don't feel any different. Sometimes when you do drink, something like a big can of Monster Energy or something, you feel a little bit of a buzz going on. I'm not getting any of that at all from those Chupa Chups grape soda. So if you're concerned about caffeine intake or quinine, that's in gin, I suppose, which does raise the question about what it would be like as a mixer in some form of alcoholic libation. Um, I will have to figure that out for another day, and perhaps we can come back to this rather good experience of having this grape soda and mixing it with something a little bit more exotic. Perhaps maybe some gin it might pair well with. I wouldn't pair it with a like electric berry vodka because it smells pretty much exactly the same as electric berry vodka and it doesn't have a different enough flavor to where I would consider it to be an ingredient of some berry flavored, grapey flavored drink. But just on its own, I do believe it's quite nice. So, you know, if you do see it, don't hesitate to give it a try. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the quality of this soda. Thank you for listening to this review, and I will get back to you with more when it comes to the strawberry flavor. So stay tuned. See you, everyone.